So, the WTO, the supposed land of milk and honey that the Brexiteers have been hoping would be their get-out clause, I suspect, to try and reduce the damage of Brexit, but as we know, the WTO will not reduce any kind of damage. And just so you know, so the headline is: Russia seeks to capitalise on Brexit after blocking Liam Fox's WTO plan. The UK must now open talks with countries that oppose proposals or face trade disputes. Russia is among 20 countries, so up to 20 countries now, that are looking to squeeze a commercial advantage from Brexit after blocking an attempt by the International Trade Secretary Liam Fox to fast-track a World Trade Organization deal on the UK's terms with the world. Whitehall is now facing up to 24 different negotiations with countries over how much meat and dairy produce will be permitted into the British market and what tariffs the UK will set on imports. The development will pile pressure on the UK's already strained resources. The Department for International Trade spent more than $100 million on recruitment consultants alone in the first year, trying to take on experienced trade negotiators, an area that had previously been left entirely to the EU. The UK is a full member of the WTO, but as an EU member state, it currently shares a set of so-called schedules with other 27 countries that make up the bloc. Fox, a passionate believer in Brexit, had sought to rush through a set of the UK's independent schedules on the tariffs and quotas that would be imposed on goods from the world's major agricultural exporters. The plan had been for the UK and the EU, as an independent World WTO members, to divide the current quotas between the two according to historical flows of trade in each project, in what would be described as a technical ratification. A large number of countries, however, opposed the plan, claiming that it would lose out from the arrangement. The UK will now have to open talks with all those who have opposed the proposals or face trade disputes that could stymie future bilateral trade deals. David Haggie, the UK director for the European Centre for International Political Economy, said, This is Brexit meets reality. More than a huge problem. It is a terrific surprise that this hasn't happened sooner. We expected almost all the big agricultural economies, but for the US and New Zealand to do this. But in terms of the bilateral free trade deals we could hope to get with Australia and New Zealand and the US, these could be delayed while we haggle over the numbers. It is a complicated disruption that could take easily a couple of years to sort out, and that means there will be 3 to 4 years before we could even implement any bilaterals. This is likely to introduce delays. Despite the setback, the UK would be able to trade on a provisional set of schedules it tabled with the negotiators, while those who withheld support. The tabling of the disputed schedules will also allow the UK governments to liberalise their tariffs and their quotas on some products to allow non-EU importers to compete with European importers, to the benefit of the British consumers in the event of a no-deal Brexit. The UK lodged a 719-page draft of the terms of the post-Brexit trade with the WTO earlier this summer, with formal reservations raised during a 3-month consultation period that had just ended. Fox told the Commons in a written statement on Thursday, as expected, some trading partners have expressed reservations about our proposed tariffs and the tariff rate quotas. The Department of International Trade said that the large majority of our trading partners do not have any objections to our proposed goods schedule. A small number have submitted their concerns and would like to discuss further. This was to be expected and does not impede our ability to trade independently. The teams we have set out will form the basis of our trade policy while we engage with our WTO partners to address their concerns. This is not good. Okay? said right from the beginning, all the Remainers said this right from the start. The EU, we work together, we get very good trade deals. Us, by ourselves, we are now swimming in a pool of sharks. Britain is now going to be picked to pieces. Do not expect this to go or end well. The UK is now going to be screwed coming and going because all these countries know that we are going to be desperate to make deals, and that means a lot of stuff is going to, well, get picked to pieces. And as I've said before, look, in the EU, all the trade deals are open. We know exactly what is going on, what is being discussed. But now we are an independent, free trading country. All these deals are being done behind closed doors and basically at Liam Fox's discretion. The only way you would actually know what was going on in these trade deals, what was being discussed, what regulations might suddenly get relaxed out of the blue, because that is what the power Liam Fox has, you would never know until the ink has basically been signed. And to get out of a trade deal once it's signed is incredibly hard. So if something that is a detriment to us gets signed, which it undoubtedly will, there is no question of that not happening. These countries know exactly what they're doing. We're screwed. And I have said it again, we are far better off in the EU, where we have all those 27 countries with us negotiating to get us good trade deals. We already had a lot of good trade deals in there. And remember, we just done one with Canada, Japan and Mexico. We ain't going to get as good as trade deals we just got with them when we were in the EU.